Hi, I'm Amy and welcome to my channel. I'm here to help you heal your attachment styles so that you can feel secure and fulfilled in your relationships. And in today's video, I'm going to discuss boundaries versus ultimatums, what the differences are and when to use them. But before I dive in, if you like this channel, please consider subscribing and giving this video a like so that other people can see it and apply this to their own lives. So let's dive in. So a boundary and an ultimatum are different things, and there are time and places to use these things, and I've done both. So I just want to go through what setting a boundary and issuing an ultimatum might look like. So if your partner is saying something that you don't like, or they are doing something that you don't like, a boundary would be to communicate that and say, I don't like this behaviour, it makes me feel X, Y, and Z. Can we talk about it and come up with a solution so that we can move on from this? An ultimatum would be if your partner is saying or doing something that you don't like, is if you don't stop that behaviour, I'm going to leave. So a boundary is something that can be worked on and compromised on and communicated about. Whereas an ultimatum, there is a certain amount of consequence to not doing it. So I've issued both, and I've issued ultimatums in a way to manipulate the other person into doing what I want. But the only problem with this is, say for example, you say to your partner, if you don't stop that behaviour, I'm off, we're over, we're through. And that person says, yeah, okay then. If you don't mean that if you're not genuinely wanting to end the relationship, it's kind of left it so that you've got nowhere to go with this. And if you then take it back, you are showing the other person that they can't trust what you say, or that you're bluffing. So when the situation arises again, they're less likely to take you seriously. Whereas if you just communicate the boundary and explain how it's making you feel and why, you are more likely to get a good result from it. You're more likely to get what you want because you're not threatening the security of the relationship. When you're issuing ultimatums that you don't mean, you are threatening the security of the relationship, unless you fully intend to go through and commit with the ultimatum. So if you genuinely do believe that if this behaviour doesn't stop, you are going to end the relationship, and you have got to be prepared for a breakup. You have got to be prepared for the relationship to actually be over, to issue an ultimatum. So how do you decide whether to use a boundary or an ultimatum? Well, the first thing to really consider is whether you are completely prepared to go through what the consequence of the ultimatum is. And I've done this in my own life, where I've issued an ultimatum with the full understanding that I will go through with this, and I have in the past. If it's something that you think can be worked upon, then I would definitely communicate the boundary and ask to work on this together to come up with solutions to stop this from happening again. Because my belief is that most issues in relationships can be resolved. So if it is that you feel like it could be, then definitely set the boundary and go from there. Now, if you are continually setting the same boundary time and time again and nothing is changing, then yes, you perhaps do need to look at whether this relationship is worth it for you, and whether you do need to consider ending the relationship. And in which case, yes, do set an ultimatum and say, you know, I've set boundaries time and time again around this topic. Nothing is changing. If nothing changes, you are well within your rights to say, if this doesn't change now, then the relationship is over for me. Then yes, absolutely. But that is the main difference. There is no point in setting an ultimatum unless you are prepared to issue the consequences that go with it. Because if you are threatening to break up the relationship, because if you're threatening to end the relationship and that person reacts the opposite that you expect, you're not going to have anything to come back with. You are going to be against a wall where you've either got to back down or break up a relationship that you don't really want to. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to this channel and giving this video a like so other people can see it and apply this to their own lives. But I will see you in the next video.